maybe the person that's equipped themselves to understand humanity, to like learn from you, for example. Let's see, maybe, is she telling her truth or not? Has worked themselves enough to be able to be that person for her to be able to tell.
So I am that. So my mother's passed. Yes. So like I'll give you a quick example about how life-changing it can be when you detect deception. And I did a TED Talk on this recently. I was just telling you guys about it, that it's not even online yet. And it's how to get exactly what you want by decoding the body language of murderers, which is really esoteric and weird. The topic though, the theme, they always have themes for TEDx Talks, was thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
So that's why I did this, how to get exactly what you want by decoding the body language of murderers. And I say ESL is English as a second language, but what if ESL was everyone's second language? And then I taught eye blocking, lip locking, eye blocking, shoulder shrugging, S, L, lip locking, and our lips disappear. And I talk about, and I show murderers, murderers have everything to lose. Not just their name and their reputation, but their freedom, and even more importantly, maybe their life. And so if you are ever gonna be so good at lying and work really hard at being believed, wouldn't you agree it would be a murderer? They have everything riding on it. If you're ever gonna try your hardest to be believed that your lie is actually the truth, it would be murderers. And even they can't, even Ted Bundy's of the world. So I show clips of Ted Bundy even in that TEDx talk. The reason I bring this up to you is the very end of this TEDx talk, I show a video and I tell a story about my mother. When she was diagnosed with breast cancer, she was funny. And she said, listen, if this breast cancer kills me, I'm gonna come back as a swearing person, like you and your father, Janine. And I go, Mom, you have cancer, you can swear now. She goes, no, it's just not who I am. And a couple weeks went by and she was coming to visit me, and like the day or two before she came to visit me, I forget exactly, I called my mother's phone and my sister Kayleen answered. Or at least I thought it was Kayleen, because whoever answered said, hey, what's going on, bitch? What's going on, bitch? I go, Kayleen? And she goes, no, it's Mom, what's up, bitch? I go, Mom, what's going on with you? She goes, I'm trying out the swearing thing. How do I sound? I'm like, you sound fantastic. Think of all the years you've been missing out on. So here's my mother being really fun and adding this levity to this really tough thing. So she visits me a day or two later here in Virginia. I live in the Virginia area, DC. It's where we are now, in my office. And Mom comes and I go, how you doing? And she's like, good. Good, everything's good. And her lips disappeared. And you can't unsee, unhear, or unexperience what I share with people, what I give to people. You can't unhear it. You can't unsee it, and you can't unexperience it. So you yourself, when you do these things and your lips disappear, you're like, wait a minute, what's that all about for me? Body language happens before thought.
Yeah.
So if you can understand and decode not only others' body language, but your own body language, and just take a second, close your eyes and say, wow, what was that all about? Because I'm uncertain about something, because I shrugged. What am I uncertain about? It changes your life forever. So I said to Mom, you and I both know there's something you're not telling me. And she burst out crying. And then what she told me next was unbelievable, and I didn't believe it, and she wouldn't allow me to bring it up to the doctor. And when she wasn't looking, I went like this to the doctor. They pulled the screen, and I told exactly what my mother had told me out on my porch that day to the doctor, and said, I need you to look into this for my mother. And my mother had told me, do not bring this up. Do you understand me? This is my story to tell. And I believe, Jay, sometimes we have to fight for people who can't fight for themselves. And I also know as a fact, that anger is often a secondary emotion to other emotions, and one of the emotions it's a secondary emotion to is fear. And so often people who are yelling at us, and they're threatening us, and they're up in our face, it's not anger. They're scared out of their minds. They're anxious. They're fearful. So I knew it's likely this was fear showing up as anger from Mom. And I wasn't going to let Mom bully me, because I knew she needed me to fight for her, because she couldn't fight for her. And so I asked the doctor, and what came next changed the relationship for my mother. My mother literally, just before she died, did a video, and I end my TEDx talk with my mother telling the story about how it was one of the best gifts. Me fighting for her, because I noticed her lips disappeared, and then fighting for her the information I got from her, and then taking it to that next level, was one of the best gifts I've ever given her out of the whole entire existence of our lives together. So it's really amazing. So when you can decode body language, and not just decode it, but have the understanding, the secret messages that layer behind it, or potential secret messages, I think it could give you courage to confront the people that scare the living shit out of you.
It was Carl Jung that said that people don't have ideas are people. And I would think that in my own self-discovery, self-awareness of development of living, that if I understand body language, and I'm cognizant of certain movements my body makes because I understand the language that you teach.
Yes.
And I see it now. I'm almost more aware of myself. Because first, and I learned, what you said yesterday reaffirmed things that I've heard about. The emotion hits you.
Yes.
And then you build your world around it. I'm crying, I'm falling. The emotion hits you. From the ideas have us, hits you, and then you create your world around it logically. If I now logically know what you teach, language, body language, before verbal language, I can be cognizant of what am I really going through right now? Is this anger after fear?
Yes.
And it's completely paradigm changing, I think, an amazing